tonight announce my candidacy for State Senate for the 12th District, representing the towns of Brantford, Guilford, Madison, Killingworth, Durham, and North Branford. I'd like to welcome all of you here and thank you so much for your support. Being here tonight to watch us kick off this is going to be the most exciting campaign, and I appreciate all of you being here. I'd like to also thank Noreen Kokaruda, who was our state rep from Madison and North Guilford. Thank you, Noreen, for being here. I appreciate it. I'd also like to thank J.B. Cosgrove, our selectman from Brantford, who's here tonight. J.B., thank you. Recognize a few folks that I hope you will all get intimately acquainted with over the course of the campaign. That is my steering committee. First of all, I have to thank my husband, who's behind the camera tonight, to videotape this so folks that couldn't be here have an opportunity to hear the message and take part in this wonderful, exciting campaign that we have going forward. I'd also like to recognize again the members of my steering committee, Ken Wilson, who's the campaign manager. But a great friend to my family as well. Also, there's three gentlemen that came to me. I've been friends with them for many years, but a few years ago they sat around my kitchen table and started this journey with me at the state, and that is Dr. Lou Iorio. And Mike Ballard, who can't be here tonight, but these three gentlemen have been a tremendous support and a great source of wisdom for me as I've journeyed in this path, so I appreciate that. I'd also like to thank Jennifer and Mark Coppola. They were part of our campaign 2 years ago. I'm not sure where Jennifer is. She's taking the journey with me tonight. She helped to get the event coordinated, and I appreciate it so much. Also, what we're doing with this campaign, which is going to be really exciting, my daughter has hiccups back there, is we're going to have coordinators in all the towns. So first and foremost, we have Mitch Cohen, who's serving as our coordinator in Madison. Our coordinator here in Guilford, who can't be here tonight, and also Cliff Marin, who's our coordinator in Brantford, who's actually studying for the bar exam. So, also we have a few other folks: Austin Caesar, who is going to be the press coordinator, and Glenn Stavanovich, who's our social media person. And also we had a gentleman who sent me an email, and it was a very passionate, exciting email. Tom Bunnell, who's sitting back there, who's got a tremendous amount of experience running campaigns, and he said, "Cindy, I want to do whatever it takes to get you up to Hartford." So Tom, thank you. Now, I specifically chose Anthony's Restaurant. Many of you know that I'm Italian-American, full Italian background. And I also chose this because this is a business in my town that obviously my husband and I frequent. And it's important that we recognize and honor and work with our small businesses, which are getting killed up in Hartford, correct? Right? Oh, yes. So, when my great-grandfather came to this country, he did so for a better life for his family, as many of you have, and many of your ancestors have, to create a better life in America. But that American dream is slowly dying, particularly in Connecticut. We have seen 20 years of net job loss, going on 22. We've seen a state where our children are not going to have jobs and able to stay here after they graduate from college. And this is what we're being left with our current state legislature, and that has to change, folks. But I also chose this place because the Sioka family, the personal family friends of ours, they too immigrated to this great country just recently. And they have been able to run this business and do so successfully, but it's been a challenge. And they told me, Cindy, it's getting harder and harder with all the state mandates, the regulations, the additional taxes, just to be able to survive. And we need better representation, people that understand what it's like to run a business and do what we need to do in Hartford. And let it also be known that I chose this day close to Abraham Lincoln's birthday. He was a great president who once said, "You can't make weak men strong by making a strong man weak." And he said it over 100 years ago, but how pertinent is it to what's going on today in our country, huh? The undeniable truth is that we can no longer afford the amount of government we have today, both on the state and national level. It's just not sustainable. Raising taxes again and again, especially as families and the economy are struggling to survive and get back on their feet, is making it even harder. We just experienced the highest tax increase in Connecticut state history a year ago. Most families in the economy in our towns have had to make sacrifices and live within their budgets. Why is government not doing the same thing? And somewhere our government has lost sight of this. They are unable to balance and prioritize, which is leading to this unsustainability of our economy. The key, folks, is to have the courage to prioritize, and I do have that courage, as Joe will tell you and many others. Unfortunately, prioritizing is not something that the state legislature or my opponent, Senator Meyer, is willing to do. As a consequence, state government has become virtually paralyzed, relying on accounting gimmicks to create the illusion that they are taking the steps necessary to balance the budget. Folks, we just got press releases, we just got information that we're looking at after the biggest tax increase in Connecticut state history a year ago. We are looking at a $50 million deficit, up to a $150 million deficit in this year alone. Ooh, obviously they can't count up there, Maureen, huh? So we are in desperate trouble, and unless we change the course of what's going on, it's going to continue to lead to the decline of the state. There's something wrong when the state government is the largest employee in the state with over 51,000 employees. There's something wrong when the employment numbers are over 9% in our state and continue to climb. There's something wrong when we have lost over 100,000 jobs in Connecticut alone just in the last 3 years. There's something wrong, as I said, we have the biggest tax increase in Connecticut state history and we still can't balance our budget. We certainly don't need the type of representation we've been getting from Senator Meyer. We do not need a senator who claims to be independent but votes with his party over 90% of the time. We do not need a senator who claims to be fighting battles but has not won us any victories for our towns. We do not need a senator who's going to vote against, or claims he's going to vote against, mandated health insurance coverage for employees to support our local small and medium-sized businesses, but turns around and flip-flops and votes for it anyway. We do not need a senator who offers no solutions to our problems. We do not need a senator who's forgotten that Killingworth, Durham, and North Branford are actually part of this district, folks. And we do not need a senator who speaks of economic renaissance as if we're in the dark ages. We need a senator who understands what it's like to run a business in this current economy and this current climate. The question is, we need someone who has the courage, strong leadership, hard work, and planning to solve our problems here in the 12th District. Someone who understands the struggles of running a business in this state despite the dwindling economy. Someone who understands the challenges of what a middle-class family is going through at this time, including paying household bills despite the increased cost just to live in the state. For me, folks, these aren't just words. I'm living it every day, running our business in Branford, and we just expanded to Waterford, working a job, managing our family with my husband. I have done this in every position I have served, from planning and zoning, to the Board of Education, to the Board of Selectmen. I have and continue will make decisions that benefit the citizens you who have put me there. You are the one who are paying for our services, and you deserve better results than you've been getting. We cannot wait, folks, until tomorrow to solve the problems of today, and many of you know how impatient I am. But to me, it's clearly obvious that these problems can be solved. We saw what we've done here in Guilford. We took what we were looking at, 5% and 6% tax increases year after year, and we've reduced what it costs to run government on the town side of this town. And I said that when we came to Guilford 13 years ago, that we need to do long-range planning. And we know government doesn't like to do long-range planning, right, Jim? They only go so far. But I had stuck with that, and we now have implemented, along with the leadership of Joe Mazza and Charlie Howdra. Thank you, Charlie, for being here tonight, our other selectmen. And we have, with the leadership, implemented a long-range capital plan, which has helped to help this town going forward. And I will employ these skills to serve you in your state legislature and solve our problems. Our local businesses also need, like Greenie and like the Siokas and others, that we are partners in this process. And as a local business owner in Branford, I will work with you. Unlike my opponent, I do not feel that my work is up in Hartford, just putting legislation in that's meaningless, and that doesn't get out of committee, that doesn't do anything to support the folks that live in his district. I will be here for you, working with you side by side and helping you to foster and grow our economy. I will work on cutting wasteful spending and regulatory burdens to help businesses create jobs and ease the burdens of taxpayers, because I'm living it myself, folks. I will work to restore sound government finances as we are doing in Guilford. I will provide the district with a stronger voice in Hartford, and not forget that Killingworth, Durham, and North Branford are part of this district. I will work to eliminate unfunded mandates that are constraining our towns. I will improve communications between citizens in Hartford, and I have done that over and over again in the positions that I've served. I will be tireless, and I will never give up my service to you, because unlike many of our representatives that go up to Hartford, I will not forget that it is you that put me there. It is a privilege to represent you folks, not a right. Over the past 2 weeks since the announcement of this event was released, many folks have come up to me with their insights, which I greatly appreciate, offers to help on the campaign, excitement about what we're doing here. But one woman, as I was in a store, her name was Susan, said to me, "Cindy, are you one of us?" I said, "Susan, I couldn't be more one of you if I stood in your shoes." Folks, I am one of you. I'm a wife, a mother, a business owner, an employee. My roots are humble working class, and I have held many jobs, and no job is beneath me, from scrubbing floors to waiting tables. I understand sacrifice, and I still do, because we continue to make sacrifices, my husband and I. And because of that, I will not lose sight of what is important. Maybe I'm a little altruistic. I've been known to Mrs. Smith goes to Hartford, but I have enough experience behind me, both in government and the private sector, to know that it takes some good ideas, a little bit of energy, and a lot of hard work, and you can make a difference in the lives of what is being done. So I ask you, do we stick with the folks in Hartford and continue, continue and expect a different outcome? Or do we send people to Hartford who are willing to make the tough choices like Maureen is doing to ensure that our children and grandchildren will have opportunities to grow and prosper? Folks, I think the choice is clear. You deserve a senator who not only understands your needs as a taxpayer, but is also willing to fight for them. Send me to Hartford, folks, and I will fight for you. I will fight tooth and nail. But I'm not only asking tonight for your support, because I know most of you in this room, all of you, are going to support me, right? You're all going to go to polls on November 6th. You're all going to vote, and that is wonderful, and I can't ask for more, but I'm going to. I need you to go out and get 5 of your friends, 10 of your friends, to knock on doors with me and my staff, to make phone calls, to stand outside at events and the Big Y and all those places, to spread our message, to get folks on this journey with us, to get this to be a grassroots. As my husband said, we were talking about it at one of our meetings, this has to be a grassroots effort, because I want to go to Hartford because you all put me there, and everybody's excited about this. You all know how hard I worked last time, and we almost came very close, and how hard I'm willing to work even harder this time, because I know it's worth it. And, you know, my husband and I talk about this. He says, you know, Sid, you put all this effort in and all this energy, is it worth it? I say, absolutely, Rich. Absolutely. This has been my journey my whole life. I'm committed to public service, and I do this for you, for my children, for my grandchildren, that we can have a better future. And we need an army, folks, an army to defeat the institution that is facing us in Senator Meyer. And we can do this on November 6th, and we will be successful. So I appreciate your support. I look forward to victory on November 6th, and with your help, we'll get there. Thank you so much.